Hi, everybody. It's Jesse Ziegler.
And Quinn Cody.
And we're here at the Cycle News Dakar Rally Daily Studios in beautiful, scenic, and majestic Murrieta, California to bring you stage 9, I think, of the Dakar Rally from 2024.
Yes, we are. 10 days of racing.
10 days of racing?
No, actually, 11 days of racing if you count the prologue.
And one of those days was 2 days. Stage 6 was 2 days.
I'm counting that.
Oh, you're counting that already.
Yeah.
It's too early in the morning for math.
11 days of racing motorcycles for these guys.
It's a lot of seat time.
Yes, it is.
Our seats are much more comfortable than theirs. That's because we have great sponsors that are supporting the show, notably Climb Technical Riding Gear. Go to climb.com, find some riding gear for your next ride, and also plan a ride. Stop being lazy. Go ride.
Yes. Get on your motorcycle.
Yeah. You can also ride a gas because it's gas day. You're wearing a KTM shirt, so you're way off.
Yeah. Sorry.
Go out and get on a gas. Gas is also giving us an e-bicycle for our grand prize on our chainslayer.com/Dakar fantasy game.
Yes,
So
Gas Moto 1 e-bike. We're giving it away.
Yeah.
Super cool bike.
Or I'm going to keep it.
I forgot to tell my wife that we're giving one of those away, and she's like,
No,
damn. So she started playing more consistently now.
Good. Get your wives to play. Rally Navigator, we got a cool bit from Jake Argerbright in the show today where he's going to show some rally notes live from today's stage, or maybe it was yesterday's stage, but less than a kilometer of coverage and so many notes, so many details that you can learn how and build, and this was probably built in the system much like Rally Navigator.
Yep.
Also, thank you very much to Moto Minded, Giant Loop, Fast Company, High Desert Adventures, JimmyLewisOffroad.com. He gets a little shout out too from Jake, which is a lot for Jimmy. Not many people are shouting him out today.
Yeah, he's he's doing a pretty good job with old Brabec.
That's true. He's got pretty good credentials still here with old Ricky out there in the race. Then you got Taco Moto and Peak Design, and Taco Moto. Thanks for coming on board. We're going to get straight into it today. Today's stage was pretty deciding in the race, I think. We saw Ricky Brabec extend some lead, but we're not going to go. We're going to go to the stage results first. We're not going to get into that overall ranking stuff. That's too down the road.
No, this was a big one today, and this was the one that the guys were looking forward to try to put them in the rhythm of the race and kind of the last possible place to be able to make big time in the general classification.
Yeah, we saw the little bit of that game yesterday with people holding up right before the end, or maybe slowing their roll a little bit to get them an advantageous starting position today, so they can make up some time and really gap some people. And a few people did that. Namely, Adrien Van Beveren really had a great ride today. He started in third today, which was not totally ideal for making a ton of time, but he caught the Benavides brothers quickly and took advantage of all those bonus points out there on this course, gobbling up 5 minutes of that.
Yeah, awesome ride for him, and did a lot of opening, and the bonus points really saved him from losing some big time to second place Ricky Brabec.
Yeah, another great ride. Ricky, as you know, started 7th this morning, used that starting position to really catch the people in front of him, and he was the fastest guy on course all day. Yeah. He only finished behind Adrien, even with all those bonuses applied to Adrian's time, by 30 seconds. So he was right there. Yeah,
32 seconds off. So that means he put almost 5 minutes on Adrien on course, which is actually, to Adrian's credit, is pretty good considering he was leading out. And bonus time came in for him and is able to get him the stage win over Brabec. Yeah, but this is actually pretty ideal for Ricky because he's got at least one set of tracks leading out tomorrow.
Behind somebody who's proven massively today that they can lead and go fast.
He navigated really well today. I think, chances are Ricky will catch him tomorrow and
they'll team up and probably ride a lot together.
Yep.
Behind them, their teammate Pablo Quintanilla came back from a couple tough days to get third overall on the day, 4 minutes behind Van Beveren, and that's a Honda 1-2-3 today, showing dominance.
Yeah, we see all three of the Hondas on top. Pablo had to start from the back again yesterday, and he had a good run and made up a fair amount of time. But I would say a pretty good gap between him and Brabec. I mean, 4 minutes, 3 minutes and 30 seconds or something like that. So you can see Ricky was on the gas, and
Ricky was really flying
all the
today.
videos and all the stuff that I saw from him, he was riding hard today.
He was putting the hammer down to get a gap. And you notice we didn't talk about Ross Branch yet. So he did put some time into Ross Branch. First, though, Toby Price in fourth, 6 minutes behind. And then we see Ross Branch in fifth. So Ross did end up losing 6 minutes and 59 seconds to Adrien Van Beveren on the stage. Him and Ricky were essentially, 30 seconds apart. So really it's, almost 6.5 minutes he lost to Ricky today.
Yep.
Pretty damaging.
Yeah, that's finally a little bit of a separation in the general classification. I think this is probably the biggest gap we've seen for since very early on. I think since stage one.
Kevin Benavides is in sixth today on the stage, even after getting 3 minutes of bonus time. But like I said before, he got caught pretty early by Van Beveren and others, and really didn't get to take advantage of those bonus minutes out there as much as he probably wanted to. But I think the navigation caught him and his brother Luciano out pretty early. They both sort of dipped at the same part on the course on the time standings, and they were starting 1 and 2 together.
Yeah, it looks like between waypoint 3 and 4, Kevin and Luciano both just dropped like a rock. I mean, they were back to 26th overall. They lost a lot of time.
Maybe doing some donuts out there.
Yeah, clearly there was a difficult spot in the road book. It looks like Van Beveren just cruised right through there, and the KTM rider and Husky riders just basically struggled and
got hung out
lost
out there.
A lot of time. They're able to recover a bit towards the end of the stage, but still,
the time was gone.
Yeah, the time was gone. Not getting it back.
Can't get it back. It goes away. Goes away forever. So behind Kevin Benavides in sixth, we had Nacho, who also had a bit of a rough day today. He admittedly got lost at some point before the refueling. So he's down the standings a tiny bit more than he wanted to be, I'm sure. And then the Benavides brother, number 2, Luciano, 8th place. Stefan Svitko, 9th place, super consistent. Stefan again. And then Brad Cox had a great ride from Rally 2 position to get into 10th overall today.
Yeah, first time we've seen Brad Cox back up in the top 10 in quite a while. Yeah, I think it was early on. He had a really good stage finish, and so yeah, it's good to see him making a little bit of time.
It's good to hear the Brad Cox name up there in the top 10. He's such a good dude. He follows the show and he comments on all our stuff on Instagram, so we know he's paying attention. So good job, Brad. Keep it up, man. Top 10.
Yes, sir.
Let's hear from our top 3 riders here. I got AVB, Ricky, and Brabec queued up in top 3. I mean, overall, we'll get into that in a minute. But let's hear from Adrien Van Beveren, stage winner first.
Tough day, but a good day. I finally opened almost 400K of the stage. Kevin was following, and it was a good support to check some time, and yeah, it was really, really difficult today. I tried my best. I really tried to be consistent, and I think it was a good stage. I gave my all. I have no regret for today.
No regret for today. You shouldn't. You won the stage, Adrien. There's no regrets in winning.
Yeah. It's great. And he's kind of on the same side of things as Ricky Brabec here. So there's potential for him to be, he moved himself onto the podium in the general today. And there's definitely potential for a podium finish now.
Let's hear from Ricky, the boy from America. Ricky Brabec leading the general classification.
Yeah, today was possibly one of my only shots to make a big push and try to make a little bit bigger gap than 40 or 51 seconds. So we gave it our all today, and all was good. I lost my rear brakes just before refueling, so another stage with no rear brakes was a little bit tough, but all in all was good. I think tomorrow we're probably going to have to open, but if I can clean it tomorrow, I think we'll be set free. But the rally is not over; still 3 more days. 2020 was definitely strong, but I made the gap early on, and now this has definitely been the most stressful race in my life because it's so close and it's a Dakar. But yeah, anyways, with a few more days to go, let's keep the hopes up and let's keep charging. Yeah.
Charge on, man. Charge on. You are in the spot you need to be, I guess.
Yeah, he's definitely charging and, you know, cooking rear brakes and, you know, riding hard. But everything I saw as far as videos and stuff from the dunes is Ricky just looks like he's racing a hare and hound or something. Like he is charging hard.
Yeah, he's hammering it.
You know, you use a lot of rear brake in the dunes because you're coming over these kind of blind rises, and so, you know, especially on the 450, you're keeping the throttle on in the sand, but you're kind of riding the rear brake as you crest the dune, and you know, to slow you down and slow your RPMs a little bit. And so, yeah, he's using that thing up.
Let's hope he keeps that rear brake working for tomorrow's stage.
Keeps that engine working.
Yeah, everything has to keep working at this point for Ricky.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky's a pretty he's pretty easy on the bike, actually, for being a big guy and riding hard. He rides it a little lower in the RPM range than some of the guys, and kind of you know, torques it along. So it's
interesting.
That thing keeps going.
He's doing great. Here's Ross Branch today. We got caught up with him from Anthony Bonello on the ground, and let's see what Ross is doing.
Ross Branch getting a little TLC here on the massage table, but he's always up for a chat. How was your day?
Yeah, it was a rough one today. 400 Ks of some really hectic terrain, but yeah, I lost a lot of time, unfortunately, but we're still in the fight, still having fun, still in it. So yeah, next 3 days are going to be important, but yeah, let's see how it goes. Racing's racing.
Driving through, it looked pretty open and fast. Is that how it was, or?
Yeah, some places up until refuel was really open and fast, and after refuel there's a lot of rocks hidden in the sand and a little bit risky. So yeah, I didn't take too many risks today. I just played it safe. But yeah, we're here in one piece, and another stage ticked off was what we needed. So happy to be here, and the bike's going well. I'm strong, so looking forward to tomorrow.
What do you think the difference is at the moment?
I'm not too sure. You know, I think there's different strategies, and there's a lot of people trying to attack and stuff like that. So we'll just have to see how the rest of the days play out.
Right on. Well, enjoy your massage.
Thank you guys.
Ross Branch, always upbeat, and you know, if you're listening to the podcast and not on YouTube, you could see he's getting worked on by the physio, and you know, the guy's fixing him up. So he's literally on this massage table talking to us.
It's hard to take his first quote there, where today was a rough day, really tough day today, as he's smiling, laying on a massage table, getting a massage. Looks like he's just at a spa.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Ross, of course, on the mental side of things, has a pretty good outlook, and you know, he's just going to take it day by day, continue doing what he's been doing, and see where it lands.
It's been working great for him this year so far. Here's our overall rankings. Let's get into that, right? So here's where Ricky sits out now. He's 7 minutes and 9 seconds ahead of Ross Branch in the overall rankings right now. So he's leading free and clear with a bit of a cushion.
Yeah, this is the big news of the day, I would say, and could possibly, this is the most separation we've seen between these two for quite some time, and this really could be. I feel like tomorrow is going to be interesting. I think maybe some guys were underestimating tomorrow, and you know, but there's still 2 more really long stages to go in this race. So
yeah, very big days coming up.
Anything can happen. That 7 minutes can disappear in the blink of an eye.
Sure. Great to see that gap sort of open up and see what Ross is going to do about that tomorrow. And then Adrien Van Beveren has crept into 3rd place general rankings, 11 minutes, 26 seconds behind Ricky. So really top 3, under 12 minutes. This is anybody's race still.
Yeah, I mean, top 4, really, if you look at it. If you look at it that way, Nacho Cornejo, he's 13:46 back, so he's only, you know, 2 and some minutes behind Adrien on the podium.
Yep, very tight. Top 4, a lot of Hondas up there again. Kevin Benavides is the first the next in 5th place overall, 28 minutes, 12 seconds back. He really hasn't cracked into this top contention after a couple days of brilliance. It kind of all went away again.
No, and it's looking more and more difficult for these guys as the rally goes on, and
they just can't really crack in and knock time out of these people. Like, the time was too big of a gap to make up any benefit, really. the damage was done, it seems.
Yeah, I think the damage was done early on, and like I said, they've been able to take little bits of time here and there, but then they're losing it the next day. I mean,
Yeah,
today, he lost a bunch of time, and
same with Toby. Toby's right behind him in 6th place. Toby Price, 35 minutes, 12 seconds back. That's a big gap in this race.
Yeah, and you
Luciano, 49 minutes back. Now we're almost an hour behind the pace.
Yeah, yep. And Daniel Sanders is literally an hour behind.
Yeah, we were talking about Daniel before we started recording, and we haven't talked to Daniel yet, but we assume that he's just in a lot of pain and suffering from not being able to train this year because of the broken femur and the multiple surgeries and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we haven't seen a real Daniel Sanders ride yet this year. You know, the guy.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, he's got more speed than anybody, but I think at this point he's just kind of in survival mode, and he's protecting that leg, and he's, riding conservative and trying to get a finish, really. I think that's the big thing for Sanders right now. And
starting over, yeah.
If he can come into this year, he can go home and recover and come into this year somewhat healthy, then, all he can do is try to build back for next year.
From where he was a year ago, and then a year before that. He's had this recurring trouble at Dakar, but shown just massive speed when he's on.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it with the elbow injury, right? And that thing never healed quite right. And then, he basically, that was 2 years of struggle with that, and then straight into the femur, and then this thing wasn't quite healing right either. So
that's where we are right now.
And I mean, I can say from experience that it's a solid 1.5 to 2 years on a femur before you really feel normal again.
It's uncomfortable because it's such a traumatic injury.
Yeah, and when it's a bad one like his was, yeah.
And you don't have any confidence to do what you were doing before, or what you're doing when you broke your femur specifically.
And, the femur is the biggest bone in your body, and it's surrounded by the largest muscles in your body. So when you have a major femur injury, and his wasn't just a simple clean break, it was a pretty nasty, ugly one. And so all those muscles are destroyed, and you have atrophy and different things. So it becomes really, really hard for a long time.
At this point in the race, I think everybody's probably got parts of their body that don't feel great, and they're all beat down. They've been on these bikes for 40 hours, the top runners. And
race time.
Yeah. Sorry. We got to keep reminding ourselves that's race time.
Of liaison time, if not more.
Everything's hurting. These guys are battling hard. Behind Sanders, Stefan Svitko, 9th place overall in the rally. He is just being consistent, riding a great race. He's a veteran of this sport. He's really coming in. And then Mishek, 10th place.
Yeah.
Really top 10, 2 hours and 20 minutes gap now.
Yep. And, I think the attrition is really what we're noticing, right? A lot of those factory guys that were up in the top 10 in the beginning of this rally are just gone.
Yep.
And now we're kind of, some of these guys that maybe wouldn't normally have the opportunity are fighting for a top 10 finish.
Yeah, great for them. You got to be there to get the points and get the finishes. I wanted to get into, we got a little bit of insight into sort of the grueling nature of the mental aspect of it. We talk about it a lot with roadbook navigation, trying to explain what these guys are going through every kilometer, multiple times per kilometer navigation. Anthony caught up with Jacob Argerbright in the pits to go over less than a kilometer of a roadbook. And Jake's going to go through quickly, make it sound pretty easy to understand. But as you look at the pictures, and we'll try to describe them afterwards, and Quinn can get into it afterwards for the podcast, it's a complicated thing you're looking at. And it's got a lot of information on there, and it's a language that you have to learn. It's all abbreviations. It's all French words abbreviated. So here's Jake talking about less than a kilometer in a roadbook.
Here at the end of stage 9 with Jacob Algebright. He's going to give us a little breakdown of today's roadbook, just a small portion, about 2 kilometers. What do you got here?
Yeah, so here's our roadbook from stage 9. We'll start at 398.8. We have some crest, downhill, crest, and another downhill. We're going to curve. We're going to go at an average of 260. They put the world trial here because it's pretty much solid rock. Lots of rocks today. So a little harder to navigate over the rock. after the note, the piece is less visible on the rock. Pay attention to your cap here. Our next note is a double danger. It'll light up on the ERTF. It'll give us a beep. Again, trial because we're still in the rocks. We're going to go left. There's actually a step. I think that, yeah, sorry, that's a step down. So there's some sort of ledge we're going to go off, and we'll continue on the track here. Our next one, we have a waypoint, and actually once you have passed this one, this arrow should have opened because we're only 500 meters from the previous note, so pretty close. So if you get to here, it should open. You're pretty much just following the arrow. But this note, we're going to go straight. We're going to go HP. We're going to quit the piece for about 50 meters. We're going to rejoin this curve here and go straight at a cap of 200. After the note, rejoin the piece. And yeah, our next note, lots of rocks on the side. We're still in the rocks. The piece is less visible, which means a lot today because when you're on solid rock, there's really no trail. And we're going to curve. Our curve is about 100 meters, which can make a big difference because if you don't do this 100 meters, maybe you get on a different trail or something. So it's important to pay attention to little details like this, because in our next note, if you're off here, maybe you get to here and there's no split because you're off. So you know, pay attention, taking in a lot of information. You know, only what's necessary, trying to get as much as you can while riding. You know, and yeah, just riding hard.
And Jimmy Lewis's words to live by?
Yeah, so Jimmy Lewis's words to live by. You either navigate or you ride. I've learned that the hard way. I've been riding, or I've been racing and navigating at the same time, and I've ended up on my head. So I do them separately. I always navigate and then I race. You know,
that's a lot of information to process within, you know, every couple hundred meters.
Yeah, and honestly, you don't even get all of it in. Like, I could sit here and really break this down. You're doing so many things. You're just taking in what you can, as much as you can, and only the most important stuff. And you're trying to be intuitive with it. You know, you're trying to see, okay, you know, I'm gonna turn here, and then it's gonna tell me to turn another direction. So how do I look at that in my head above from a 10,000 foot view and make everything? And you know, that's what makes a good rally racer, is being intuitive, and just understanding what the road book's telling you.
Right on. Well, keep reading the road book. Catch you soon.
All right.
Doesn't have a choice. You got to read, or else you're going to get lost out there.
Yeah.
And you got to read and race at the same time, but not at the same time. And you can't get too caught up in it because you're going to not go anywhere. But you also have to pay attention and then go fast. This is not easy.
Well, there's a lot happening right there. Yeah. And when you come upon it at speed, you, like he said, you're not always taking it all in. You're not reading every little detail on the road book. You're kind of looking, and that's the thing that you have to realize, is that the other piece of information that you're taking in is the terrain and what you're seeing,
the actual real world.
And and that's a lot of times the most important thing, is because the tracks on the ground.
Because most of the time, the crew that makes these road books, they've traveled in this exact same spot to confirm it, to make sure all the notes are accurate before the race. Like, it's not just drawn on Google Earth and then sent people off blindly most of the time, right?
No, always.
It's always confirmed.
They've always confirmed it months and months ago, and then they go back through a day or so before, just and they open the track and make sure nothing's changed, and they, you know, and so there are a lot of times will be a little slight track from an opening car there. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if you're on rock, it's really hard to see any kind of track. So, you know, in the sand, you can kind of pick up on things. But yeah, if you're listening to the podcast, you can see he was basically just using or showing a bunch of little tulip notes with abbreviations and things like that.
I want to make a point. Like, it's only about, the thing he just described was maybe 2 kilometers, but it's all compact. It's like a sheet of paper length, like a normal sheet of paper. That's the distance on the road book, basically, that Jake was talking about. There's, you know, how long are those road books? 30 feet.
Oh, no, they're way
so
longer
long.
than that. Yeah,
they're so long.
Yeah. I mean,
so this
huge.
Is like just information overload almost.
Yep, and hundreds, like in a 400-kilometer stage, there'll be hundreds and hundreds of notes, and I mean, maybe less in the dunes, more in the
rocky stuff,
tracks or the tracked, like stony stuff. But yeah, you can kind of see it for yourself and play with it if you go to rallynavigator.com and
Yeah, right.
you know,
Exactly.
you can download the desktop version of their software and
Make a road book on your
basically-
commute to work.
Yeah.
And follow it in your car.
you can make road books for anything really. And you know, they have all the little symbols and abbreviations and everything, and it's just a simple drag and drop, and
It's
you
really
can
cool.
put in waypoints, and then you can use their digital roadbook reader or the Rally Navigator app to
On your phone.
actually ride or drive the road book in your car.
Yeah. Do it. It's fun. Don't be scared. That's what I
Don't
keep
be
telling
scared.
people. Everybody's doing that out there, including let's get into Rally 2 a little bit today, because this race is pretty good. Rally 2. We like it. We mentioned Brad Cox today. He's top 10 overall on the stage. He actually won, the Rally 2 category today over his front rival, Romain Dumontier. Pretty tight too, a minute and a half between those guys today.
Yeah, great ride by Brad, and you know I think the time gaps on the stage, at least were really good.
Yeah, I
They're
think
really
the
close.
top 5 are within 6 minutes on the stage. Top 6 are within 10 minutes, so really good. We've talked to Jean-Luc Lepin, who's in 5th place there. Harith Noah, who is not paying attention to his results. So if he's listening to this, you did not get 4th place today on the stage, Noah. Just ignore that. You were not 3 minutes and 56 seconds behind. That's
Yeah.
somebody else we're talking about.
Yeah, he's not listening to the show.
He's not listening to anything. He doesn't even have his phone. General rankings, this thing is getting pretty tight too. 1 and 2, 11 minutes apart. Like we mentioned, Jean-Luc Lepin earlier, he is only 11 minutes behind. A couple days ago, he went out early, missed a waypoint, kept racing because it was too far back, and got a 15-minute penalty. Without that, he'd be in the lead. That's frustrating, but reality.
Yeah, I mean that's
It's not that,
Rally
that's not that
racing,
hard
you
to
know.
have happen.
If I only didn't make that mistake.
The Harith Noah, like we just talked about, he's only, geez, man, he's not very far. He's seconds behind in 3rd place.
Yeah, in the general, he's 11-18 off the lead, so I mean,
Really,
that
like
puts him
20
like
seconds.
25 seconds back.
Yeah, so this podium in Rally
and
2 is getting really tight.
We did get a comment on one of our, I forget, YouTube or something that Harith Noah is actually sponsored by TVS motorcycles from India,
Ooh,
Sherco team.
got it.
So interesting stuff. So Sherco motorcycle sponsored by an Indian motorcycle manufacturer.
Very cool.
So
TVS is another manufacturer in India, but they're sponsoring a Sherco bike ride for Noah.
Yeah.
Got it.
I still want to see him on the Hero though.
Me too. That's a better story.
Yeah.
Check this out. Brad Cox in 4th place, 17 minutes and 48 seconds out of the overall lead. Only a couple minutes of penalties for him. He's had a couple up and down days, but really pretty tight still. Anything can happen. These guys could still be battling for the win.
Yep.
Pretty
And
interesting.
Tony Mullick in
5th
5th.
place, yeah.
Yeah, he's 23 minutes back. And Tony is actually one of our test riders at KTM.
Oh, he is. That's right.
Yeah, so he does a lot of enduro test stuff for us, and
Very cool.
also does a lot of the testing for the production 450 Rally replica.
Oh, which he's
And-
probably racing right now. Yeah.
Yep, and
Probably
helps
doing
out
some testing out there.
the rally team.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's cool to see Tony. He's a Slovenian rider, and it's cool to see him up in the top 5.
Yeah. Top 6, 36 minutes back. Mathieu Dovizzi. I did not say his name right. I'm sorry. Mathieu Dovizzi.
Dovizzi.
That's a little
French.
better. Sorry, Matthew.
Doviz.
Tobias Ebster, the guy absolutely dominating the Malimoto original by Motul class,
Yep.
is also sitting in 7th in Rally 2, which is very cool.
Yes, he is.
Sharan Moore, we talked to him yesterday, the day before. I think it was
Yeah.
yesterday or the day before.
Last year's Malimoto winner.
Yep.
Right?
He's
So-
sitting in 8th place overall in this
And
class.
how's that? Ebster is actually beating Sharan Moore from the Malimoto class.
For sure. For sure. These guys are quite a bit out of the running. I mean, these guys are 3 hours behind, so
Yeah, but those two are actually pretty close. You
They're
look at
really
that.
close.
I mean,
they're
they're
like 6 seconds
6
apart.
seconds apart between
in
the
the
two.
Rally 2. This is the battle. This is the battle we're watching every day now. Sharan Moore battling with
Yeah,
Tobias
he's getting
Ebster.
massages every day, and
He's
Tobias
amazing.
is in the bivouac in the tent.
Let's talk about original by Motul class here. On the stage today, no surprise, Tobias Ebster won. He was 20 minutes ahead of Jerome Martini, and we'll get into that here. General rankings. Tobias, like I said, he's got a huge gap. He's an hour and a half in front of second place. Scroll down, all of these people are warriors. Kyle McCoy, 10th in the general standings, but he's 15 hours behind. So this is just showing you the struggle these guys are going through.
Yeah. And Kyle has been on the motorcycle in stage time for 62 hours.
That's insane.
Yes. That's, 11 days, 62 hours. I don't even know what that averages out to, but that's not counting liaison
Yeah, that's
miles
not the big.
or hours. So think about that. There's probably another 40 of liaison time on there. So we're talking 100 hours on his motorcycle already.
100-hour experience for Kyle so far.
Yeah. I don't even know what that averages out to, but my God, it's
too much.
Too much.
Okay, we actually just got a video from Kyle McCoy walking through the Malimoto bivouac. So let's play that.
Where are we headed here, Kyle?
We're going to eat. Today was stage 9. I started riding at 6:30 and I stopped riding at 6 p.m. 6:30 a.m., 6 p.m. Long day. Really, really rough terrain. Just kind of brutal. But I'm in it. And now I'm getting. I don't want to get too confident yet, but I'm starting to get the feeling that I can do this. I was at a real low day before yesterday, and I've sort of recovered from that. But I'm like, you have to be like a machine in Malimoto. So as soon as you finish, take off your stuff, go eat first thing, and then I go straight back and start working on the bike. But yeah, all's good so far. I saw 2 cars flipped upside down today. It was really rough on the cars. It was more of a side-by-side kind of day or a moto day, but super brutal stage.
Every day's been brutal.
Every day's been brutal. I think tomorrow I'm praying will be a little bit easier. I'm hoping, because I know the next day, I know it from last year, it's nothing but rock, the whole thing. It's really brutal, and I think the organizers setting it up to make that the last hard stage, and then the last day is, sort of a
procession.
Exactly. So I'm hopeful tomorrow. And also for Malimoto, guys, we stay one night extra here, so we do a loop, come back here, which makes our lives so much easier, because we don't have to take everything down, put everything back up. So a little bit of a break, hopefully tomorrow. But every time I've thought that in the past, I've been proven wrong. So I don't want to get too excited about it yet.
You started Malimoto last year. You got a bit of a taste for it, but is it proving harder than even you expected?
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was hard, but I'm finishing in the dark. Like, I'm mid-pack and I'm coming in the dark. In 2020, when I did this with a mechanic, never once did I come in the dark, and clearly the race director's trying to make a point this year. Word on the street is that the top guys were saying last year was too easy, aside from the weather, and so he's trying to make it much more difficult. At least that's what people are telling me, and clearly he's done that. So yeah, I'm gonna keep moving on here.
Right on. Bon appetit.
Yeah, thank you.
Into the food cave over there to eat with 3,000 people. See you, bud.
See ya.
Great stuff. Good insight from Anthony. Thank you for providing that. Thank you, Kyle, for taking a couple minutes of your walk to go eat before you got to crank on your bike again. And man, just a lot of time on these bikes. Okay, we still have 22 Malimoto competitors. Let's go to the bottom of that list. Let's look at some time here, Gwen.
Yeah, this is interesting because
Mikhail Jacobi, another French rider, he's holding in there.
Yeah, he's hanging on 129 hours, 49 seconds.
He's been racing his bike for 130 hours. He's 82 hours behind.
Yes, he has 61 hours of penalties. So,
and that's missing waypoints and abandoning the course.
Who knows? Yeah, sleeping in the desert.
Okay, so if you take 60 hours out, he's kind of in the same world. He's in that 60, 70 hour, window of ride time, which is just
the top guy without penalties.
there you go.
Yeah, is Cesar, our buddy who
we talked to him
who
yesterday.
buried himself in the sand.
Yeah, Cesar, who slept overnight.
And his time kept running overnight. So, yeah,
there he is.
75 hours.
75 hours after a night out in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad,
I would
Cesar.
say, I mean, Kyle is nearly probably one of our top guys that doesn't have any penalties, Kyle McCoy. I mean, I think
he has 0 penalty.
Yeah.
Like, that's a clean race. Look at that right there. 10th place, 62 hours. He's 15 hours behind, but 0 penalties in the penalty column. He's the first person in Malimoto without a penalty.
I wouldn't say that, but
what? In the general rankings, no penalties.
Cesar doesn't have any penalties.
But Kyle's in front of him.
Oh, first person. Sorry.
First person.
I was going to say, but we do have an interview with Jane Daniels, who's our leader in the women's division.
Right. Women's division leader, Jane Daniels. We got a video from her, update from the pits. Let's play that.
End of stage 9 with Jane Daniels. We've had a bit of an adventure since we checked in with you last. Let's start with your chrono.
Yeah, so the 48-hour day, well, 2 days, was it was good, but then after 150 Ks I decided to do some cartwheels, me and the bike, twisted it all up a little bit, so I spent 570 Ks of that riding with the navigation that was not in centre at all. It was very much over to the left. Handlebars were bent, and after I first crashed I could only turn right and not left, so I spent most of the day going over the dunes and just praying that everything hooked right. But in the camp at night I managed to find a bar and a bad tower away from the handlebars so that I could turn left and right for the remaining part of the stage, so that was good. But no, all in all I don't think I lost too much time. I don't think I lost many positions, but yeah, it's a shame that I did do it because I probably could have been a little bit higher up than what I was, but never mind.
Well, and then did you tow one of your teammates? What's the story there?
Yeah, so yesterday in the second part of the stage I came across Jeremy stranded on top of a hill, and he was stood there with a piece of rope and he was like, can you tow me? I was like, oh no. But yeah, okay, so I towed Jeremy 60 kilometers out of the special stage through all the waypoints and everything, so that was fine, but we both got a finish, which was the reason why I did it, and yeah, we're both back in the game again today.
Did one of you navigate and one of you drive, or how'd that work?
I think I probably spent more time looking behind me to check he was still there than I did actually looking at the navigation. But yeah, he was just getting dragged along like a passenger, and I was just trying to get us through as safely as I could.
Right on. And how are you feeling for the last 3 days?
I'm excited for the last 3 days to be over. I'm feeling pretty tired now. I've got this weird tingly feeling in my hands that I've never had before. I think it's because I've ridden 11 days for 12 hours, so my body's definitely probably suffering a little bit of shock.
Well, keep it upright to the end. Nice work.
Thank you very much.
That's pretty awesome and brutal and insightful that she could only turn to the right for the first half of the marathon stage until she found a bar in the pits and beat her bike into submission.
She is an animal.
She's awesome.
I mean,
and then had to tow her teammate back in, and now her hands are tingling, and yeah, vibration from sitting on that bike and going through your handlebars. That's no joke.
Yeah, no joke. I mean, and that's something that everyone experiences is literally you have so much inflammation in your hands and wrists and arms that the nerves just are constricted, and so you wake up in the middle of the night and your hands are asleep and tingling, and you start the liaison in the first couple kilometers, your fingers are falling asleep, and yeah, it's something with it.
It's tough.
Humans weren't really built to do, so
but we do it anyway.
We do it anyway. And Jane she's sitting 51st overall.
Yeah, she's riding really strong, and she stopped and dragged her teammate.
Yeah,
for
after towing her teammate.
So great to see her out there getting that Dakar experience and showing what enduro champions are capable of out there with very little rally experience.
Yep. So great job.
As we get into these last 3 days, as she mentioned, you mentioned there's a couple big days coming up, including tomorrow, most notably the next day, which is 480K after tomorrow. But stage 10 tomorrow, don't sleep on stage 10. Stage 10 is a big one. And it's a loop. And you mentioned, maybe in these loop things, they can make them a little trickier because the organization has sort of an isolated control on it. It's not moving bivouacs. Everybody's camping in the same spot tonight.
Yeah, I think like a lot of guys bet their strategy on stage 11 being the last real big tough day,
which is one day before the end and the biggest day of the week.
But stage 10 tomorrow, it's 371 kilometers, so it's long, not super long, but it is. If you look at the map, they're based in one bivouac, and like Jesse was saying, when the organization has everything that close to a bivouac and it's kind of a short loop stage, they have opportunity to really turn the screws on people because all of their resources are contained, right? They have helicopters there. They can, it's a little easier to retrieve people from the desert and
bikes,
kind of control a stage that's really difficult when it's a really long stage and they're transferring 500 kilometers on the road and then another 300 kilometers within the stage. Their resources are spread thin.
You don't want these French promoters and course designers to have more ammunition to make it harder.
And this one, I mean, they're saying 77% dirt track. All the guys said the end of the stage today was kind of rocky and we're getting into the more technical stuff. So it's very possible that it could be a gnarly one tomorrow, and there could be a lot of navigation. And just based on, I mean, I'm purely just
speculation,
slinging, but based on the little squiggly lines there, looks like there's lots of twists and turns.
These squiggly lines on the map.
So yeah, we may see a shakeup tomorrow. Ricky Brabec starting second behind his teammate.
Yep.
Ross Branch is starting. What was it? 7th?
Yeah, he's starting back.
Yeah. So, where is Branch? He's starting back a little bit. He's starting 5th, so he has the opportunity to pull back some time on these other top couple,
and then make that stage 11 really interesting because stage 11 is a big one. It's 450 plus K, I think.
Yeah. So I think,
and it's going to be the nail in the coffin for some people.
Yep. So Ricky just has to kind of
day.
manage his losses tomorrow. Try not to lose too much time. Collect as many bonuses as he can. And then set himself up in a good position for the final big stage, stage 11.
And try to gobble up as much time as he can on that baby.
Yep.
Cruise home. There's no cruising.
Yeah. And who knows, right?
Who knows?
The 3 Honda engines could fail tomorrow and everything's different.
We don't know. Electrical magnetic pulse that goes through the pits and knocks out all the electronics on that ride-by-wire throttle just fries.
We have no idea.
We have no idea. That's why we're here to talk about it every morning after it happens, because we don't have to guess then.
Yep.
But it's fun to speculate, and it's cool to see the consistency of Ricky and the rest of the Honda team really pulling through here and rising to the top and being strength in numbers. And I think that's going to have to be an advantage for them, continuing an advantage for them for the rest of the race.
Yeah, I mean, you have 3 Honda teammates opening the stage tomorrow, so all 3 of these guys are together, and yeah.
Yep, there's your start order for the morning if you're watching on YouTube. Adrian's going to take off first. Ricky's going to be chasing him. Keith is right behind him. Toby Price, then Ross Branch, and we're going to just be sitting here eating our popcorn.
Got to make our picks. Get on to chainslayer.com/Dakar and kind of take a stab at what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't think I'm even going to publicly make a guess because I don't know.
Good idea.
I mean, I did pick Ricky for a win today, I think, and I mean, I was close. He technically, I mean, you take out that bonus time, he won.
Oh,
So,
now you're going to
I think
disrupt the rules to make your results look better. I got 70th place today. Not bad. Not bad.
Not too bad.
It's above my average.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching on YouTube. We'll be back tomorrow with the next stage of the Dakar Rally. Once again, peace out.
Over and out. Who's going to win the Dakar Rally 2024?
Right there. Who's going to win?
ChatGPT.
It's challenging to predict a definitive winner for the Dakar Rally 2024 since the race is still ongoing and the situation can change rapidly. However, some notable performances have been highlighted so far. In the bikes category, Ross Branch is leading the overall standings after stage 5, with Jose Ignacio Cornejo Florimo
Stage 5.
following closely.
This thing's working in the past, man.
Carlos Sainz from Team Audi Sport holds a significant lead after the first 6 stages. He's followed by teammate Matthias Ekstrom and Sebastian Loeb.
We're way better than AI.
Notably, pre-event favorite
He's clearly not
faced mechanical
scraping
issues that have significantly
Dakar
hampered
Rally
chances.
Daily
These standings are as
podcast.
of the midpoint of
Thanks for nothing. Stupid computer.